I think a lot of it is personal preference. Like if you really prefer to not have prices up and you prefer to, really chat with people. And I mean, that's like part of you, you are part of your work and your work is part of you. And I think that all of it kind of goes together. It's almost like, I don't want to say it's a performance because presumably you're being authentic, but it's just, there's so much more to your practice than just a painting on the wall or whatever, right?
Yeah, I do have a book.
Sure. Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I've encountered, every way that you can possibly do that. Some people are tech savvy enough that they do like a QR code that you can scan and then, you can see like a digital price list or or you just put stickers on the wall if that feels better for you. If you're uncomfortable talking about pricing of your work, which I would encourage you to get comfortable with, by the way. But if you're still working toward that comfort level and it's easier for you to just have the numbers up so that you don't have to talk about it, that's okay too. I think it really is personal preference. I'm really glad that you brought that up because I think discounts are a big issue that people grapple with across the art world. Like what's fair, what's acceptable, what feels good or doesn't feel good. It's become such common practice for galleries to give clients a discount. I mean, I think, many collectors just automatically expect to get at least a 10% discount because it's become so widespread. And so I think you kind of need to keep that in mind. And you can do, what do they call it online? You can do some girl math. Is that what they call it? And you can add that into your pricing. And then when you take the 10% off, then you're getting the price that you want to get. That's a way to handle it.
That's if they're already collecting from you.
Well, it depends. It just depends. You're going to have people ask for discounts. It's just like I would never ask for a discount from like an emerging artist. But because your prices are already like fairly low when you look at the, like spectrum of art world prices. And it just feels gross to me. Like I just wouldn't ask for it. But not everybody's like that. Some people want to get the best price they can get and they're going to ask you for a discount. And, they may pay you the full price anyway if you tell them that's the price and you're not doing discounts, or they may walk away. And that's it's tricky. It's really tricky, but I'm so glad you brought that point up because it should be on your radar that people are going to ask, and so you should be prepared for that. Because not only like out of your own studio, if you're just having a studio visit or you're doing an open studio, but also once you get to the gallery world, when your gallery is definitely going to be giving people discounts. I don't love that. Yeah, that's sort of such like overt sales on Instagram. But I also do understand if you don't have a gallery to sell your work, you have to sell it somehow. And obviously Instagram is a vehicle that allows you to get in front of so many more people than you would be able to bring in for like a studio visit or an open studio or anything like that. So, and again, I think that's kind of a personal preference. Like obviously if that doesn't feel good to you, then don't do it, for sure. But I think some people actually have success doing it also. So, it's who's to say? Like I try not to be too judgmental with the way that people approach how they sell their work, if they're doing it on Instagram or what they're doing, just because everybody's trying to make a living and, continue to be an artist, right? Maybe don't like advertise a Black Friday sale or something fun. I mean, I'd do it if you want. Like, no judgment. It's tricky. I mean, I don't think there's one good answer, but I do think it's important to keep it on your radar, like what the perception is of however you're handling that in a public or online space. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, no, I have no problem with prints. I mean, I think that's a great way. Look, I like the idea of having a practice where, different kinds of people can collect your work. It's sort of like a democratization to a degree because, like you said, not everybody can buy a huge, multi-$1,000 piece, but many more people can buy a $50 print or, whatever. So I think that, if that feels true to your practice and it's helping you generate some income so you can keep making work and keep yourself in the studio more, I think you should. I think that's a good idea. That's just strategic. I think if you find that that you're making sales with those, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'd like to show my work. I think applying the same things that we've been talking about with all these different types of relationships to curators as well. Try to build relationships with them. They go to openings, they open shows. Go to the shows. Go try to talk to them, or connect with them through somebody else. And I think with curators and galleries, I think that it's okay, and art advisors also. I think it's okay to send them information about your work. Make it super professional. Have really nice quality images. You can send it in a DM on Instagram or whatever, or in an email if you can find their email address. For curators, it's not so easy to track down email addresses, but a lot of them are on Instagram. And I mean, people, you think like you don't want to cold call people, and a lot of times it doesn't work. But I had somebody reach out to me last week who was in a 3-person show that I hadn't heard about, and just shared the information with me, and told me when they would be there if I wanted to come see. And I did. I didn't know this person. I hadn't met them before. But it sounded interesting to me. I saw some images and I was like, I want to learn more. So I would encourage you to strategically do that. Don't just send like one of those blanket DM stories or like goes to everybody you follow or whatever, or who your followers are. You need to be targeted and make it personal, but I think that there's nothing wrong with reaching out to a curator who seems to be sort of interested in the kind of work that you're doing, and just say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm, making this work, and I thought it might be of interest to you. I'd be interested in a studio visit. I'd love to invite you to my studio if you have time or are interested. And they may not get back to you, but sometimes they will, and that can move the needle too.